Hi everybody, this is just a quick video. I want to talk to you about something called rock bottom. I am on break at work. This is not going to be long. I haven't posted in a while due to a lot of changes in my life. I recently moved and I have upgraded my living situation, but also I'm going through a lot of other things as well. So what I want to talk to you about is rock bottom. Now, if you're a loved one of somebody with an addiction, you've probably heard this term before, and in your mind you have a picture of what you would consider to be rock bottom. This conversation came up at my older sister's wedding last night, and I like that I finally had an idea for something that's really important to talk about. So, people like to believe that rock bottom consists of somebody who's like homeless on the street, nowhere to live, no nice clothing, no money, refuses to get help from people. That is what people like to consider rock bottom when they think of that image in their mind. Now, the truth is, rock bottom is different for every addict and individual. Anybody who drinks, who has a drinking addiction, a gambling addiction, a sex addiction, any type of addiction, they have to hit this breaking point in their life that will cause them to want change. So in order to receive that part of their life, they may have to go through something different than somebody else. Not everybody is the same. So some people go to jail over and over and over again and still don't get sober. They go to jail, they stay sober, maybe in jail, maybe not even then. They leave, they relapse, okay? Now, everybody's is different, right? So you find people that have an addiction issue. They may be a functioning addict and say they lose their job. That person literally may stop because of the fact that they lost their job. That might be their rock bottom. So that person that lost their job, they're humiliated, they're upset, they feel like they lost something huge in their life, and they're like, I want to stop, I want to get help. Now, does it mean that person is going to stay sober for the rest of their life? No. They might not, because we can't predict that. You can't predict that. And the families often a lot of times like to push help onto people. Why won't you just get clean? Why won't you just get sober? Why do you steal from me? Why do you do this? This is what families say to their loved ones. And this is real things that bother them. And I understand why they say that, because they don't understand. So then you have the person that is afflicted with their addiction who may feel like they're trying or may feel like they don't have the will to try. And then they deal with the person that's constantly, telling them to get help. Now, the truth is, people will not get help or stop using until they're ready. So if they're not ready, the best thing that can happen to them is that seed become planted in their brain that will cause them to know where to go when they do want to get help. So the person that lost their job from their addiction or alcoholism, that has decided that they no longer want to be an addict or alcoholic, maybe they sign up for rehab because they lost their job, they become sober, and maybe they live the rest of their life clean. Maybe they don't have to go to meetings. Maybe that's good for them. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have the person who is an IV heroin addict. They shoot heroin, maybe they shoot meth too, maybe they shoot cocaine. They don't care. They will do anything to get outside of themselves. They've burnt every bridge with every family member possible. Their parents, their cousins, their best friends. Nobody wants to put up with them. They may have like one or two people that stays in contact just to make sure they're not dead. They live on the street. They do not want to stop living on the street. They will not go to DSS for help. They have nothing. They constantly ask for money. They go to people's houses and break in order to maybe take things to sell. They may be very nice. They don't even have to be mean. But the fact that they've broken ties with everybody means that they probably are quite mean when it comes to dealing with them. Or they are a con artist who uses manipulation to work their way back into your life in order to take from you to support their addiction. And these people end up in jail. And honestly, a lot of times jail is just 3 hots and a cot. It's a place to live, a shelter over their head. If their jail has drugs in it, they manage to use while they're in jail. They find a way to have one of their friends sneak it in sometimes. Not really Mayville, but I'm sure it happens in Erie County and all that. So these people tend to not learn from that rock bottom. Their rock bottom isn't homelessness. Their rock bottom isn't death. Their rock bottom is feeling their own feelings, and that's what scares them. They're so scared to feel reality and to feel all that guilt that they've acquired and put on themselves that they refuse to let themselves feel that. So what they do is they continue to use. They feed into their own cycle by saying to themselves, well, you know what? Everybody doesn't want me. I'm a failure, I'm useless, I'm going to die this way, so I'm going to continue using. And this is something that feeds into it. And a lot of times when these people choose to try to get help and do anything that's a step in the right direction, the second somebody comes down on them or feels that the trust has been so broken that they just don't trust them, because why would they? They run right back out and use again because somebody doesn't forgive them. And this is something that they have to personally work through, and it is not your fault if you are the person suffering with this person. So for you, the best thing for you to do as a loved one of an addict or alcoholic that will not get better regardless of jail, institutions, or the thought of death. A lot of people have overdosed numerous times and still continue to use. They get Narcan, they get out of the hospital, and they go home and they use again. It happens constantly. Well, they don't want to be sick. They don't. Sickness is so scary, and when your mind is conditioned to believe that sickness is the enemy, death isn't. And a lot of times people that are using heroin and cocaine and meth, the only way they feel good or normal is to use. So for them, that is their normal. And a lot of times it takes more than that little bit to get high. They have to get better first. So a lot of times if they're sick, they have to do that amount to feel better. Then they have to do more to get high. And a lot of times they don't even get high. There are people you see at your job. There are people you see at the supermarket. There are people you see that you have a face-to-face conversation with, and you would never know that they're an addict, because the thing is, now their body requires that to run normally. So at some point, if you have a loved one that is finally hitting that real bad rock bottom, the first one might not do it. The second one might not do it. The 10th one might not do it. But sometimes something happens where somebody decides, because maybe their child sent them a letter in the mail saying, I feel like I don't have a father. Maybe that might be the only thing that changes the father's perspective enough to make him go out and get the help that he needs to even just go to rehab. Now, is the father going to go and stay sober after rehab? We don't know. You can't decide that. And it's a really harsh truth with families. This is what we discussed last night with my family member, Amy. People don't realize they cannot force their family to get sober. They really want to. They love them. They give them money, which is a big no-no. They give them a place to live. This is where you're kind of wrong, though. If you're taking an addict and you're giving them a place to live, giving them money, feeding them, they have no reason to change. They get to continue using. They get to continue sitting in their house with a place to live, no reason to work, no reason to do anything if they're a non-functioning alcoholic or addict. They don't have to do anything because you're enabling them to survive with an addiction. And the truth is, these people end up dying because what happens is they go out and maybe they go to jail for a little while or something, and then they get back on it and they die because their body isn't used to it. And the family members always suffer because they've been sitting there and catering to the addict or alcoholic without the knowledge of why not to. So the first thing you need to do if you're a family member is take care of yourself. I'm sure as a parent you have spent restless nights lying in your bed crying to yourself, wondering why your sweet little child ended up addicted to drugs. And I'm going to tell you that it's not your fault. Yes, you could have been an addict yourself. Yes, you could have drank. Yes, you could have been abusive. But a lot of times they're finding that there's nothing you can really do now that really stops it. A lot of people just do it because they do it, and nobody is exempt. It does not mean it's your fault that your loved one is an addict or alcoholic. But what you can do is you can be an emotional support for them. You can promise that you're going to be there for them no matter what. You can tell them that you are going to help them if they go to rehab and if they choose to get better. And if they do go along the recovery process, that you will walk with them through that way. Now, that doesn't mean you have to supply them with money. It doesn't mean you have to buy them things if they go to treatment. It does not mean that you have to put yourself right in the middle of their situation, because the thing is, they might not make it. And as long as you know you love them and you completely did things for them that were good for them without enabling their addiction, you will go to bed sleeping better at night. Helping and enabling are two different things. Helping somebody who has an addiction is being there for them, basically understanding that they have a lot going on mentally, maybe even lightening the load for them at times. But at the same time, you don't want to help them so much that they don't feel that rock bottom. Because if you take that bottom away from them, you might be taking their chance to get sober from them. So a lot of times people need that really bad rock bottom, even worse than jail, even worse than being homeless. They need something that's going to spark something inside them because they're spiritually bankrupt. And I think a lot of times positive influence works as well. So this is something I do want to look more into. I've seen that when people do choose to get sober or clean, when they are positively brought up and they're told that they're a good person, that they have the chance to make it all better, that they are forgiven, those people succeed much faster than the people that are brought down and told that they aren't going to succeed. Now, this is why they tell you to move. If you're somebody who has committed crimes for drugs, either prostituted, been on the streets, lied to people, hurt people, if you've burnt a lot of bridges, the best thing for you to do is move because you want to start a new life for yourself. Now, on the other end of that, you take you everywhere you go, right? Right. So if you choose to not get help and you choose to keep living that same life, it's going to follow you no matter where you go. If you make the choice to live a whole new life, you can have whole new friends that are good for you, better people around you, and you don't have to suffer the consequences for the rest of your life. Yes, you do have to acknowledge that you may have an addiction present in your mind for the rest of your life. You may have to go to meetings for the rest of your life. Some people don't. Some people don't have to go to them. Everybody's different. So for you to label yourself in one direction as a recovering addict or alcoholic is stupid because we're all different. We're all different. And I think that a lot of the problem is that a lot of people believe that they don't fit into AA or NA, and it causes them trouble. We are going to be starting a meeting in Westfield, hopefully at the Methodist Church across from Clinton. If you are somebody who would like to be there, it's going to be a 12-step meeting. I'm going to start running it hopefully in the next 2 weeks. It's definitely been a discussion, so hopefully that works out. There's also going to be an SESH meeting, sharing experience, strength, and hope in the Unitarian Church in Fredonia. And this is going to be going, I think it's going to be on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock as well. So we're going to have 2 different meetings going on that are going to help people as well. If you haven't gone to one, try it out. Just see if you like it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's not going to kill anybody for you to go. Also, if you are a loved one and you would have a person that's ready to go to treatment, that would like to go to treatment, if they hold private insurance, I can get them into a treatment center right away. But you have to tell me if they are ready to go. If they're not ready to go, you can't say, Brianna, I need help. I can talk to them on the phone all I want. I can give them advice all I want. But if they don't want to change, there's nothing I can do. The one in Westfield, I'm still working on a time. I have no clue which day yet. I'm thinking Mondays or Wednesdays, but we're not sure. Wednesdays would have to be earlier in the day. Mondays would have to be 8 o'clock. Maybe Fridays, we're not sure. But Westfield definitely needs more meetings. I know that. Are there any questions before I take off? Because I got to go to Tim Hortons. Holy crap, it's hot in here. I talk and I forget. If anybody wants to buy shirts, I still have some shirts left. I have all sizes, I'm pretty sure, up to 2XL. I think I have 2 of those left as well. So if you want one of those, you can hit me up and buy one. We are going to have cycle 2 of Breaking Chains. If you would like to be a sponsor and have your name on the back of the shirts, it's $40. Well, I think we're doing $50 now. $50 for sponsorship. And you will be listed on our site soon. I'm going to put everybody up there that's sponsored. You will get a shirt. If you've already ordered a shirt and you haven't messaged me, I have it saved for you. And I'll find a time to deliver it. If you've ordered one online and you want to order one, let me know and I will deliver it to you as well. So if you have to have it shipped, that's fine. It's a $5 fee for shipping. Also on October 26th, we are going to be at the Harvest Festival in Buffalo, New York. And on the 28th, we will be doing our live giveaway, where if you shared all the posts on the page, you will be in the entry to win some cash and some gift cards. But you should go to the October Harvest Fest. So basically, the people that work there, what they do is they usually have raves and like music things. And what they're going to do this year is, even though they are having like a big music floor, one floor is going to be dedicated to education, and they're going to talk about how they use homeopathic remedies. One of these remedies is cannabis that they use. I'm not against it nor condoning it, but I do believe it does have value to some people. So that is how they do their thing, and I think they have actually done a lot of good with it. If you are interested, feel free to show up there. Tickets are on eventbrite.com. I will be there talking about the opioid epidemic and everything involving that. So there's going to be hundreds of people there, I'm pretty sure, for that one. It's going to be big. If you have any more questions, hit me up on here. You can also contact me on my regular Facebook. There are times when I'm not on the Breaking Chains Facebook. I've had a long couple weeks. I'm going to hopefully be on tonight and go live around 8 o'clock with one of my friends so we can do another interview. If you want to do an interview, don't think you are exempt. Anybody can do one. You know, just don't be a liar. Don't come on here and lie about your whole life. You know, if you want to come on here and talk about, share your experience, strength, and hope to the world, go ahead. I don't mind. I would love you to. Even if you're just a loved one of an addict, we need more people that are loved ones, because it's really important. But I love all you guys. Thank you so much. You don't understand what this has given me, walking around town and people saying, you've helped me save my life. You've helped me help my child. You've helped me do this and that. It's really important to me. It saves my life. It saves yours. It saves everybody. We're educating the world. If you want to get involved, let me know. Thank you.